Okay, so now me and Matt are going to be reviewing The Good Dinosaur. Yay!
Yay.
The Good Dinosaur has been notoriously plagued by production problems. That was alliteration.
Yeah.
And they go quite a long way back. We're talking years, not like months. And I kind of want to avoid talking about that too much because I don't know the details and I can't really speculate on how it affected the film. I don't know for sure. So this background is there. It's had production problems, but now it's here. And all we can definitely say is the second Pixar film released this year, and pretty much definitely the weakest.
Yeah,
that's true. But that's not to say it's bad. So the plot, it's basically like a mashup of Finding Nemo and Ice Age, if you think about it. Because, for a start, it's about a human boy who travels with a prehistoric creature for them both to find their way home. That's Ice Age. It's more or less the same. And as for Finding Nemo, you got the very similar structure to Finding Nemo because it's this journey, and along the way they meet these secondary characters in the same way that, they meet the turtles in Finding Nemo or the sharks in Finding Nemo. And it's a coming-of-age story about a dinosaur called Arlo, who is the titular good dinosaur. And it's a coming-of-age story about him learning to make his mark on the world, and it's a journey for him to find his home. What did you think?
I thought it was, I was kind of, I want to say I was disappointed by it, but it was more that it did exactly what I thought it would do. It was okay. Yeah, exactly. Which is, I suppose it's not a bad thing. I thought what you were saying about the plot and about the Finding Nemo thing, I thought that kind of similarity to other films was something that kind of popped up quite a lot in it. There were lots of bits to it that were just kind of rewritten from other films. Mm-hmm. It felt like the best scene in the film pretty much is this kind of moment of voiceless emotion. There's no talking, and it's really powerful, but it's basically just WALL-E. It's just that whole or it's that idea that they're bringing.
Yeah, I mean they do. It's not like there's no scene in WALL-E that's the same, but it's very WALL-E-esque.
Yeah,
I can see what you mean. Yeah, the biggest problem with it is that if you think of Pixar in their the golden years, is that they were kind of champions of originality and doing these fresh, innovative things, and this just feels like if I didn't know it was Pixar, I would have thought it was from one of the Pixar imitators.
Yeah.
It looks beautiful, or half of it looks beautiful. The backgrounds are rendered in this really photorealistic way. They look like they could be live action. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no.
Particularly the water is probably the best animated water I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But then they place in these photorealistic environment very cartoonish character models, which I was saying, and I know a lot of people have said this, so I don't want to harp on about it too much, but I thought it was a little jarring. You weren't that bothered by it, were you?
It didn't add anything to the film, the kind of juxtaposition, but it didn't take anything away for me.
I just kind of think they should have picked one. Even if it was to pick the cartoonish route and have the backgrounds cartoonish as well, just so it's consistent. Because I would frequently be looking at these amazing backdrops in a shot that was just a landscape shot, and then a character would walk into it, and it would really kind of take me out of it for a second. I think coming back to what you talked about with the dialogueless moment, all of the best moments in the film, I think, were dialogueless, be they emotional or the comedic moments. The best comedic moments were the physical comedy moments rather than the ones that relied on dialogue.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's necessarily the case that Pixar have to make films that don't have dialogue. But I just think the dialogue wasn't up to scratch here as much as the visuals were at times. And the secondary characters are all cool. I think that's a thing Pixar do well. They've always got really good secondary characters. And some of them here are really good. There's a Triceratops with parrots and birds on him. And he was funny. I liked him. And there are the T-Rexes, but they're just the sharks from Finding Nemo.
Not as good.
Yeah, exactly.
Not characterless sharks.
One of my problems was that I didn't like Arlo. I thought he was really annoying and whiny. He never did anything but whine. Yeah. And I found him very difficult to sympathize with after a point because all he ever did was make things worse and complain.
Yeah. Well, to retouch for the third time on the voicelessness, I think Spot was the best character.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe because he was voiceless, so they were forced to be more creative in the way that they made him express himself.
But that's as we were saying, the film is about Arlo's the dinosaur and Spot's the little boy that he takes with him, and they kind of reverse the boy and his dog kind of formula, because in this case the dinosaur is the humanized one and Spot's the like a dog. He acts like a dog. This is all because a meteor missed Earth and dinosaurs have been allowed to evolve to the point where they run farms and things, which I thought it took me a long time to kind of understand why they were running farms, and then I remembered it's because the meteor missed and they've evolved to the point where they're like taking part in agriculture. I thought it was really weird, and I kept forgetting it all the way through the film. I was like, why are the dinosaurs like ranchers? Why are they herding cattle? Why are cows around, or whatever they were, like wildebeest?
Bison or something.
Bison, yeah. And I remembered that it's because we're in this different world. To like history is changed.
I quite liked all of that stuff. I thought it was
it was good. I just kept forgetting. It didn't make enough of it made the point at the beginning, and then never really touched on it again, and I just forgot. It's also a little because it's kind of cartoonish, and we said compared to some of Pixar's other films, almost babyish.
Yeah.
And then there's these moments of really bizarre darkness ever so occasionally.
Yeah, it's a strange kind of juxtaposition of, like, for the most part, it's quite a childish film. It's much more of a film for kids than most Pixar films. And then every now and then you have, like there's a scene where they eat these rotten peaches on the floor.
Surreal.
And they get really drunk or really high.
Yeah.
And you have this like hallucination scene.
It's intense.
They swap heads and stuff.
And like, doesn't one like open their mouth and then the dinosaurs start coming out of his mouth, and it's really like, what the?
It was a really funny scene.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that you would take a child to it and it would kind of break the child a little bit. It was a bit.
And there's like heads being torn off of living creatures and things. But then it goes back to being quite sickly cute.
Yeah. There's quite a bit of violence to it.
Yeah.
You get this cute little creature that they save from a log, and then eat him.
Yeah.
Tear him apart. It's literally like a nature documentary. Where
and it is like a kind of thing. It's kind of it's like a person. It has like a human personality. It's not just like an animal. Yeah. So it's quite disturbing. So should we go to ratings?
Sure.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. I think I did really like the visuals, and even though the story wasn't very original, it wasn't bad. I don't think there was anything particularly bad about the film. So I think I'll probably go for a 7.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that in the sense that there's no element of it that I think that was really, really bad. It's just nothing about it was really, really good, apart from the odd moment. Yeah. And I also thought that the narrative was very kind of, it just kept starting and stopping. And it's very episodic because of the way that it's like just a journey. So I'd give it a 6, I think. Because, it's not Inside Out. And I think it's always going to be remembered as the film that was not Inside Out in the year that Inside Out came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, cool. So I guess we'll move on to a song now. And there's a moment of confusion as we...
That's right thing. I did it.
Yeah, he did it.
I did it.
Yeah, actually listen. He gave it a 7. Should we go with one of the Krampus songs? And okay, yeah, we'll do that. So this is from a YouTube site that Jack introduced me to. It's called Vintage Jukebox. Is that what it's called? Postmodern Jukebox. Sorry, yes. Where they do these vintage covers of pop songs, and this is their version of the Titanic theme.
If I can find it.
If he can find it, let's keep stalling. Yep, we got it. So this is My Heart Will Go On in 50s style from the Postmodern Jukebox.
And last for a lifetime, and never let go till